All right, welcome, everybody. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Happy Monday, everyone. So let's get to talking. I want to talk about a few things and then also just an open conversation. So latest on Julio Jones. Obviously he was on with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless today, mentioning that he's out of Atlanta. So, I guess we can go ahead and confirm that. He will probably not be with the Atlanta Falcons. Most certainly not. 99.9% sure. Julio Jones, wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, will not be on their team come week one. What's up, Big Play Slay? Welcome to the house, my man. Happy Monday. Sorry I got on a little bit later than I said I was going to. Had some few final minute changes or things to finish up. So Julio Jones is most likely going to be out of Atlanta, and apparently he does not want to play for the Cowboys either. Came out and pretty much said that he didn't want to play for the Cowboys. However, the interesting thing is this, and this is kind of what I've been talking about over the last week. The Philadelphia Eagles could be a dark horse team in play for Julio Jones, and I think it would be a great thing for Travis Fulgham and possibly Trayvon Grimes to develop under Julio Jones if we were to keep both of those wide receivers. And Jason La Canfora listed the Philadelphia Eagles as one of the top landing spots for Julio. So interesting thing there. Today's been going amazing, says Big Play Slay. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Toxic Falcons, welcome to the chat, my man. Happy Monday, my friend. Calm down, everyone. Calm down, everyone, Toxic Falcons says. Clearly, he's referring to the Julio Jones rumors. Dude, he's going to get traded. You got to accept it. AJ Styles, welcome to the house, my friend. Julio Jones, Philadelphia Eagles. Can he be traded to the Philadelphia Eagles? I think he can. I really do. I think he can. And what a perfect position that would, what a perfect move that would be for the Philadelphia Eagles. Honestly, as I said, to get traded, if he got traded to the Philadelphia Eagles, it'd be great for Travis Fulgham. It would be great for Trayvon Grimes. It would be great for a fellow Alabama wide receiver, Devontae Smith, to pick up and pull some knowledge from Mr. Julio Jones. Toxic Falcon says that Julio will be a Falcon this season. I don't think so, man. I think you just got to cut your losses. Honestly, what's making you think that he's going to stay? Is it biased, or do you have a good reason? Do you have a good reason? And just while we're waiting for him to respond on that, I want to move to this defensive line. I saw Hollis Thomas on Inside the Birds 365 podcast. Sorry. And, he made some great points. We still need a safety. We still need a linebacker. He talked a little bit about Javon Hargrave and Malik Jackson and how Javon Hargrave, how he took his time to get going. I want to say this, obviously the main thing for the defensive linemen is to close gaps, right? Close gaps, close the space between themselves and the quarterback. That's first and foremost. And I think that with anytime that you add a body along the defensive line, you're closing that space inch by inch, right? And then it becomes a matter of, can they win off the line of scrimmage? That's the key. That's the key to these young guys coming in and playing along the defensive line. Speaking of that, Brandon Graham is apparently really impressed by the young defensive linemen. So that's obviously really good news moving forward. And I hope that he's talking about the USC defensive tackle that we drafted, Tupuofu. I think that's how you say his name. Milton Williams, all of these guys, Teron Jackson. I really do. Because what that will mean, honestly, is that we did something right with this draft class. So Toxic Falcon says Julio said he wants to be on a winning team. I believe Coach Smith and Matt will convince him to stay this season. No. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is this: usually when there's smoke, there's fire. We've talked about this before, and there was a report that came out about a week ago saying that they rejected the offer. So I'm pretty sure the internal discussion is that they've already decided that they're going to move on from him. Usually both parties, like Julio and those guys, Arthur Smith, have already made the decision. They've already made the decision. I don't think he's going to end up in Philadelphia, but I think it would be a good move. I think he's honestly going to end up in New England, as New England was the one that made the biggest offer for him during the draft. So, but we'll just have to see. We'll have to see how this whole thing pans out. I honestly hope he stays on your team, Toxic Falcons. I hope he stays as an Atlanta Falcon. Like I said last time we spoke, I would be upset if I had if Julio were drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles and we were talking about this. I would be completely upset. So, moving on from that, what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with Hollis Thomas? Do you think that we need to add another safety? Do you think we need to bring in another linebacker? Obviously we've talked about this before. I think another safety is imperative. You know what I mean? But what level of safety do we actually need to bring into the mix? Can we bring in is it a Malik Hooker who could still develop under Rodney McLeod as he gets healthy? Is that linebacker Jordan Hicks? Or would you guys be looking for something more? I remember there being rumors about CJ Mosley being potentially traded. That's where my mind goes. If you're going to upgrade a position, upgrade the position. You know what I'm saying? Toxic Falcon says it would be a waste of draft picks. It would be a waste to draft Pitts if he's not going to learn from Julio. Yeah, maybe. Again, you have to remember that Kyle Pitts is not a wide receiver. He is a tight end who can just happen to line up at the wide receiver spot. So, there are slight technique differences. And Kyle Pitts, that's the thing too, is like, do you actually need Kyle Pitts to learn from Julio? Would it be nice? Yes. But do you need Kyle Pitts to learn from Julio? Again, Kyle Pitts was arguably one of the best playmakers in this draft, a non-quarterback. CJ Mosley says, or Toxic Falcon says, CJ Mosley probably won't be good no more unless he's training since he didn't play this season. Yeah, these guys are always training, man. These football players are always training. That's not a concern. That's not a worry. They got to keep themselves in football shape. The best way to do that is to continuously train. They've been doing it all their lives. It would honestly shock me if he had not been training, to be completely honest with you. Keep smashing that like button. Yeah, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. Big play. Thank you, buddy. Toxic Falcon says, look at Le'Veon Bell. Well, Le'Veon Bell is kind of a different situation. It's kind of a different situation. Le'Veon Bell was a little big-headed. He's I'm not saying he was at the point of Antonio Brown, when it comes to big-headedness or ego, but Le'Veon Bell was certainly less than that. His ego was certainly less than that, but it was definitely up there. So, Toxic Falcon says, wait, do you think Bell made a mistake leaving the Steelers? Do I think he made a mistake? This is like 3 years ago we're talking about now. Yeah. The Steelers gave him an offer. You know what I mean? They gave him an offer. Julio or Le'Veon Bell wanted more, and he wanted more from the Steelers. He wanted an astronomical amount of money. I don't remember how much money it was, but he wanted a lot, and rightfully so. But here's the thing too: Pittsburgh wears their running backs down. Le'Veon Bell was one of those guys. He was their top wide receiver. He was one of their top wide receiver options. He was also, obviously their best running back. They used him a lot. So do I think the wheels may have fell off when he got to the Jets? Yeah, they probably fell off a little bit. I think that's what you're talking about. And Julio and Le'Veon didn't sit out the entire season, if I remember correctly. Toxic Falcon says, "Oh yeah, congratulations, Hawks and Suns yesterday." Yeah, no, I know the Suns beat the Lakers, so that was pretty cool. But here's the thing too, Le'Veon, LeBron usually drops the first game, in the playoffs. He usually does that. But just wait. Don't ever count out LeBron. I understand the Phoenix Suns are good this year, but don't count out LeBron. Big Play Slay says, surprise cut for the Philadelphia Eagles. Ooh, good question. I mean, there's quite a few cuts that I think are going to happen. There's quite a few cuts that I think are going to happen soon, post June 1st, obviously. But JJ Arcega-Whiteside, not really a surprise cut. I think a surprise cut would probably be Greg Ward. That's one of the things that I think about. I was thinking about that the other day. Is like, how solidified is Greg Ward going to be now that we got all these young wide receivers going into year 2? Trayvon Grimes, I believe, is going to be a really good addition, and has the potential to beat out Travis Fulgham. So Greg Ward could be a surprise cut, depending upon how much they like Trayvon Grimes, depending upon how well he progresses through camp. It's a tough one. Hassan Ridgeway, I don't think would be a surprise cut. I like Hassan Ridgeway. Big Place Today says Hassan Ridgeway, maybe. I like Hassan Ridgeway, but again, I don't see it being a surprise cut. I think that's gonna really be contingent upon how well some of these younger defensive linemen do. Milton Williams, the guy out of USC that we just drafted. I got to learn to say his name correctly. So we'll just have to see. I think another surprise cut would probably be Boston Scott. Maybe. Tox Falcon says, "Oh yeah, there was an Eagles fan saying the Falcons should trade Julio to the Eagles for Zach Ertz and 3rd round pick. Your thoughts?" I'd do it. I think that would be a good trade. Because you can still move Kyle Pitts around, and once you're moving Kyle Pitts around, you can have Zach Ertz in there as well. So I think Zach Ertz can still ball. So that on top of a 3rd round pick is like getting a 2nd round pick, which is exactly what the Cardinals gave up for DeAndre Hopkins. This is all contingent upon that trade. You have to remember that as well. A younger, just as talented version of Julio is DeAndre Hopkins, and he was traded to the Arizona Cardinals for a 2nd round pick. So, but Another surprising cut. Let's continue to talk about surprising cuts. Who else do we think could be a surprising cut? I think Avonte Maddox could be up there with surprising cuts. Reason being is because we need cornerbacks. We need cornerbacks, ladies and gentlemen. Cornerbacks. Who is your dark horse to make the team? That's a great question to ask. Who is your dark horse to make this team? I am going to say Trayvon Grimes, but I don't even necessarily think that he's a dark horse. Toxic Falcon says, "Do the Eagles play the Colts this year?" Let me see. Let me double check the schedule real quick for you. There was just a thing that was just put out on Bleacher Report. If Julio goes to the Eagles, he gets to play the Falcons week 1. Gets to get revenge. Enter Zone, welcome to the chat, my man. Welcome to the channel. Happy Monday, my friend. How many wins will the Eagles get this season? I'm probably going to say 8 or 9. 8 or 9. They're either going to go 8 and 9 or 9 and 8. But it wouldn't surprise me if they won 10 games. Toxic Falcon says, and if it's at home, will the Eagles fans boo Wentz? That is a good question. I don't think they will. I don't think we will. We might, some might, some might, some will. It's probably going to be a mixed bag. But at the end of the day, I think I don't think Carson Wentz is going to care. So that is clear. That is clear. I mean, in some instances, I think the fans that were upset with him about not wanting to compete are right. And I think that transaction went down like this. We're bringing in a new head coach, so we're going to want you to compete with Jalen Hurts for the starting spot. Carson Wentz had a problem with it because of everything he's done for the city over the past 5 years, and didn't want to compete because of it. So I think that was kind of the swaying factor in whether or not he wanted to stay. And so because he didn't want to be compliant with what Nick Sirianni wanted, Howie Roseman had no choice left. He had no choice left but to trade him. Enter Zone says that's a lot of wins. Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe. I think. Look, you have to think about the division that we're in, and I do give the Eagles the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the element of surprise with Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts can really do something this year. I think he can really do something. So we'll just have to see. We wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me if we had a bad season. It wouldn't surprise me if we had a better season than most think. Yeah, let me double check this. I'm trying to bring this up right now for you, Toxic Falcons. The schedule. And one more question, he says, do Eagles fans favor Nick Foles or Wentz? Look, here's the thing. We will always remember what Nick Foles did in that playoff run, and him winning the Super Bowl and how good he was. The thing is this, though, too, is that Carson Wentz was doing what Nick Foles did all season long. I think if we continue to get the 2017 or just slightly below 2017 play level that Carson Wentz gave us. I think it would have been no question. We would have been fine. But I think the Eagles did make the right decision in sticking with Carson Wentz as opposed to going with Nick Foles right after the 2017 season. You know what I mean? I think they made the right decision because there was higher potential in Carson Wentz, keeping Carson Wentz. Nick Foles is going to be an up and down quarterback. He's always been an up and down quarterback. So I think that there are fans that would prefer that Nicky Six came back to Philadelphia, and there were fans that were fine with the decision to stick with Carson Wentz. And the Eagles do not play the Indianapolis Colts this year. So we play the Falcons week 1 in Atlanta. We play the 49ers week 2 at Philadelphia. We play the Cowboys week 3 in Dallas. We play the Chiefs at home. We play the Panthers in Carolina. We play the Buccaneers at home. We play the Raiders in Las Vegas. We play the Lions in Detroit. We play the Chargers at home. We play the Broncos in Denver. We play the New Orleans Saints at home. We play the Giants in their stadium. We play the Jets in their stadium. We play Washington. We play Giants. We play Washington again, and then we play the Cowboys to end the season at home. Tox Falcon says, do I believe that Wentz would have won the Super Bowl in Philadelphia? Yes. Yes, I do. I think that the coaching change was needed to get back on track with that. I think Nick Sirianni and Carson Wentz together would have been great. And I think if it were Carson Wentz, if we still had Carson Wentz on this team, given that we drafted Devontae Smith, and given that we brought in Trayvon Grimes, and given that we're kind of rebuilding this offensive line, the offensive line is getting healthy. I think this would have been a significantly better season for Carson Wentz. I think what we saw from Carson Wentz in 2020 was an anomaly. It was the only bad season really that he's had in Philadelphia. Talks Falcons is excited about the matchup. Falcons versus Eagles, man. We both had Vic. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Talks Falcons says, do you remember that dream team that the Eagles were supposed to have? I do. And I remember Vince Young saying that. And then it all kind of went downhill from there. Look, it was only a dream team on paper. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't schematically, it wasn't right for some of the players. Nnamdi Asomugha was top 1, top 2 shutdown corner in the league before he came to Philadelphia. We didn't use him right. And we had Nnamdi Asomugha, we had Sheldon Brown, we had Asante Samuel, and we had Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. It's like none of those guys were used correctly. Sheldon and Asante were, because Sheldon and Asante were having success prior to that dream team year, and they should have just kept it that way. Like, I just don't understand. They just should have kept it that way. They made the mistake. They made that mistake. It was, a horrible season to watch, honestly. And that's why Asante got upset. Is because, he had given us about a year or two solid years prior to that dream team. And I think it was a year. He gave us a solid year prior to that dream team, and then And then we kind of pushed him out by bringing in Nnamdi Asomugha and DRC. So there we go. There is the admittance. Toxic Falcon says, I still can't believe Julio might not be here, man. He's not going to be there. He's not going to be there. I wish he were to stay for your sake, Toxic Falcons, but he's not going to be there. How do you guys feel about these young rookies along the defensive line? Milton Williams, I haven't heard much about Milton Williams. It's all been about Jacoby Stevens. It's all been about the offensive line, really, honestly, and the new coaching staff are impressed. Speaking of the offensive line, the new coaching staff are impressed with Brandon Brooks at OTAs right now, so that's really good to hear. Tox Falcon says, I hope they trade him to the Jets. He's not going to the Jets. He's not going to the Jets. The Jets are in rebuilding mode. As are the Eagles, but the difference is the Eagles have the draft capital to go and get him. So we could give up Zach Ertz in a third rounder and not think twice about it because the Eagles are potentially going to have 3 first rounders this upcoming season. But speaking of the Julio Jones trade updates and things like that, I honestly think something will happen by the end of the week. Jalen Hurtsme says he's going to join D-Hop. He dropped another Instagram post with Julio, LOL. He knows something. I mean, no. I mean that could literally just be that they're working out together. You know, I think the thing is that like a lot of people freaked out that a lot of Cowboys fans freaked out that he was going to join the Cowboys because he wore like a cowboy sweater or something like that. Big Play Slay says good stream, my guy. Thanks, man. I do feel like I'm a little off my game today, but thank you. I appreciate that. One love always from the Big Play Slay, man. Toxic Falcon says, I just love that Ravens swear Julio will be good, especially when you got a QB who can't throw. Yeah. Talking about Lamar Jackson, yeah, he's had 2 down years now. Something's got to give. Not everybody can be Deshaun Watson. You know what I mean? Not everybody can be Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? And as far as and that's a perfect topic to bring up because what does that do? That brings us to Jalen Hurts, right? As far as inaccurate passes, by the way, when he was targeting wide receivers in that 4-game sample size, they weren't that off target. There may have been 1 or 2 that was like a little bit behind, but like they were pretty spot on. So that's another reason why I kind of get on the Jalen Hurts haters a little bit. Like, yeah, we only got 4 game sample size, but still, he had highlights up and down the board. Within 4 games. Everyone was riding Lamar so hard. No lie. Yeah, no. I mean, they were. Talking sports with MG Nas. I just subbed. Awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Welcome to the channel, my friend. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Welcome Talking Sports with MG Nas to the channel. Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But getting back to what Toxic Falcons was saying, everyone was riding Lamar so hard. No lie. Yeah, some were. I mean, me, like I was getting excited about him just because it seemed like, I mean, they were doing some good stuff in Baltimore with Lamar, but man, He was still hovering around that 60% line and below, and they don't ask him to drop back 30 times a game. They just don't. I mean, their entire scheme is built out of the power run, and to have many options for the running backs disguised out of the power run, and having a guy who can run like Lamar Jackson just makes that offense that much more potent. So it's not like he has ever really been, your average drop back quarterback. And unfortunately, when the run game's not going, that's what a quarterback's got to do. The quarterback's got to change it up. The quarterback's got to be able to throw in this league. The quarterback has got to be able to throw in this league. Tox Falcon says Jalen would beat Lamar in college football every time. Yeah. Big Play Slay. MG is one of my buddies. I asked him to sub. Let's go. Thanks, Big Play. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I figured he was one of your buddies, and so I appreciate all the support. One love. Toxic Falcon says, honestly, Jalen was a good QB. People just hate on him. Yeah, and unfortunately, there's multiple reasons why people hate on Jalen. I think that there's also a little bit of apprehension because there's always a worry that it's a single read and run, of having the single read and run quarterback, not a quarterback who can develop or has the potential to develop into something similar to a Deshaun Watson or a Russell Wilson. But I got to be honest with you, and this is not, and I've said this multiple times, I've got to be honest with you. I saw some Russell Wilsonisms. in Jalen Hurts. From even from the Packers game when we benched Carson Wentz, and especially in the Saints game, like that 40-yard pass to Greg Ward in the back of the end zone actually came in the Green Bay Packers game, not the Saints game. That's my bad for making that mistake last time we talked. But yeah, man. I mean, I have reason to be excited. I'm hoping that he does, because the leadership thing is just like spot on. Like, he just has that gravitational pull, that magneticism that makes you want to hope that this guy is as good as his leadership qualities, honestly. Little H, welcome to the house, my friend. Welcome. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. One love. Happy Monday, my dude. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Tell me what you feel about this team moving forward, my friend. How do you feel about all these young defensive line players? What's your take on Jacoby Stevens? I'm actually excited about him. He's one of those LSU guys similar to the excitement is similar to the excitement I had for Jalen Mills when we drafted him. Obviously, that didn't pan out as well as we thought it would. He was the starting cornerback for the Super Bowl team, so there is a little bit of cachet there. But what's your take on Jacoby Stevens? Because he's getting a lot of love from the training staff, it seems like. Big Play Slay says Lamar Jackson is a good QB. He's an accurate QB. He can scramble. He's a winner. All he needs to do is work on his deep ball. But other than that, he's an efficient quarterback. I think that's right. Big Play Slay. I think he also just needs more reps, passing the ball. If he can work on his deep ball, it would be absolutely deadly. I mean, he can get the job done. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Talking sports. I shouted out your channel in my Discord. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. All the support I can get, one, is absolutely appreciated. Toxic Falcon says, who do you believe will break out rookie for the Eagles? Devontae Smith. Obviously that's like hands down, like easy choice. I wouldn't be surprised if it were Kenneth Gainwell. Obviously, as I've said before, I'm really excited about having him on our team. He was one of the guys that I really, really wanted. Like, I took him in every mock draft that I had, just because I was like, I couldn't imagine our team without him. I couldn't imagine our team without him, and I absolutely fell in love with him in the pre-draft process. So Kenneth Gainwell, Devontae Smith. If we're just keeping it on offense, one of those two guys, and both could break out too. Both could break out as well, because I think they're going to have a plan for Kenneth Gainwell. Defensive breakout rookies for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. I'm hoping that it's going to be Patrick Jones. And the reason why I say that is because he brings versatility to the defense. He can be an edge rusher. He can be a stand-up linebacker. And so I'm hoping that he breaks out, because that would be huge to have him be a success story in Philadelphia. Just another piece on that defense that we do not need to fill if he does well. Mike Nixon, welcome to the house, my man. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, my dude. Talking sports with MG. MG Nas. I think Anthony Harris will be a great addition. I do too, man. Yeah, I definitely do too. I think, he's still like 27, 28, right? So he's still young. I think he obviously has that familiarity with Jonathan Gannon. Just like linebacker Eric Wilson, and he's been a good safety. He's been a good safety for the Minnesota Vikings. I think he has potential to be one of those low risk, high reward players. So I'm hoping that he can bring what he brought to Minnesota to Philadelphia, so that we can start to shore up that secondary again. Little H says Jacoby Stevens could be used to shut down guys like CeeDee Lamb, I guess. Yeah, he's fast. You mean that's the good thing. I mean, he's fast. He can play safety. He can play linebacker. They're probably going to ask him to put on a little bit more size. I would assume that they would. I think he's only 212 right now. I think that what they're going to try and do is try and get him up to that weight that Darius Leonard is at. I think Darius Leonard is 6'2", 220. So. That's what I think that they were looking for when they drafted Jacoby Stevens, and man, oh man, if he can turn out like that, that would be absolutely phenomenal. Big Play Slay says DB is one of the most knowledgeable Eagles fans I know. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. You're just sprinkling all the love on me today. I appreciate it. We just got to get Patrick J back in here, bro. We just got to get Patrick J back in here so we can do a tandem with you guys again. Little H says, I want y'all to win NFC East. Steelers fan living in Texas. Hey, man, as long as you're not a Cowboys fan living in Texas, then that's absolutely fine with me. Yeah, I want us to win the NFC East too. I honestly think my general opinion of the NFC East going into this season is that I don't see each team being better. Like, I don't see each team like being just as bad as they were last season. That's the thing. Is like, that's such a rarity. I feel like it is close to a rarity for the NFC East to be as bad as they were. But I mean, you look at the Giants. Daniel Jones was up and down. They were out. Saquon Barkley was out. The Dallas Cowboys, they scored a ton of points. They had a ton of yardage before Dak went down. And they just couldn't get anything together. Washington football team, they made the playoffs. That defensive line, that defensive front was absolutely ferocious. Their defense as a whole was absolutely ferocious. So I mean, they were pretty much the only ones that had more stuff to look forward to than the other teams in the NFC East. But they still have to get that quarterback position figured out. And maybe they can make some progress, like something for me to worry about. I don't worry about Ryan Fitzpatrick or Ryan Fitzmagic, blah, 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 whatever. You know what I mean? Like, go out, trade for Jimmy G. Like, I hate saying that because I'm an Eagles fan. But like, if I were a GM, I would think that I would be like setting the phone wires on fire for Jimmy G. I mean, the 49ers just drafted Trey Lance. Mike Nixon, I just subscribed to you. Unfortunately, I don't like the Eagles. I'm a Giants fan. Hey, well, that's completely fine, man. That's completely fine. I appreciate this. I appreciate the sub. You can talk Giants all you want. One of the loyal subscribers, one of the very few first ones is a Cowboys fan. And so, I love to chop shop with all y'all. I want to hear all your opinions. Anything you got. It doesn't have to be just football. It could be basketball, baseball. It could be whatever you guys want to talk about. I just love having you guys in here to, to just chop shop. Big Play Slay says, yeah, I miss Patrick, bro. He knows we're on right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if he jumped in the comments at some point. So yeah, I think he misses you too, Big Play Slay. I think he misses you too, brother. You and your telekinetic powers. Little H says, fuck the Cowboys, LOL. Yeah, fucking the Jones family. Just every single one of them. Every single fucking one of them. Just get me a dartboard. You know what I mean? Get me a dartboard. Get me a Cowboys player. Maybe Ezekiel Elliott. Just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just playing. Talking sports with MG Knots. I do Eagles and Sixers content. I have 300 subs. If you want to collab before training camp, I am down for it. Absolutely, my man. Absolutely. I'd totally be down for that. Shoot me an email, dbtalkingnow@gmail. And yeah, man, that'd be fucking awesome. I'd absolutely love to jump on that. Patrick, Big Play Say says, Patrick, my bromance brother, LOL. Yeah. He refers to you the same exact way. Ryan Fitzpatrick, the most hated man in Las Vegas. We all know why. Yeah. Big Play Say, Mike is a great dude. Awesome. Big Play Say says, Dak is king as a Cowboys fan at Mike Nixon, so you're good. Yeah, I always love to hear what the rival fans say. That's the big thing. So Mike, I mean, how does it feel for you to possibly get Saquon back this week? How do you feel about the Galladay signing? Those are going to be some good moves. They are good moves. Little H says, be right back. Awesome. Big Play Slay says, I hate the Cowboys for taking CeeDee Lamb when we wanted him. Did we? I mean, I certainly did. But I mean, like, I don't think that I'm not entirely sold that the Eagles were eyeing CeeDee Lamb. I think that they were eyeing Jerry Jeudy, and maybe that's why they didn't make the trade up. They needed a faster guy. Jerry Jeudy was that faster guy. So, but hey, man, we got Devontae Smith now. We could obviously go back to many fucked up drafts that Howie Roseman had. DK Metcalf, JJ Arcega-Whiteside over DK Metcalf. Like, why? Like, in what piece of your brain did you think that this guy was going to be better than that guy? I get that there was a injury report, on DK Metcalf coming into the draft, so a lot of teams shied away from him. But I mean, he wasn't injured prior to. I mean, his pro day was great. Everything about that offseason leading into the draft for DK Metcalf was absolutely phenomenal. Like, I just I can't. Toxic Falcons rise up. Yeah, and I think that, and you're not going to like it when I say this, Toxic Falcons, but I think that one of the first moves to doing that is clearing that cap space off the book put there by Julio Jones. You guys have a lot of positions to fill. And I think that you would want to clear that cap space that Julio Jones would. And I know it's going to be tough. Man. but you just might have to be okay with it. Big Play Slay says, imagine being a Cards fan and Jets fan could be me. Are you referring to Patrick right now? Patrick J. So for all of those new guys in here, Patrick J grew up in Brooklyn, and him and I both live in Arizona together. So he's a Jets and a Cardinals fan. But hey, I mean, in and he's been very loyal. But here's the thing. In defense of the Jets, they had a phenomenal offseason. They've had a phenomenal offseason so far. Their draft was like spot on. Free agency was really good for them, So I mean, getting Zach Wilson, bringing in Michael Carter, Elijah Vera Tucker, all those guys from the draft, I can't see how that doesn't work out for those guys. That's kind of how the Browns got rebuilt. They hit on their draft picks. Granted, they had multiple first round picks over the last 5 years to do it, but they did it. Mike Nixon says, man, I feel good about it. I also loved getting Kadarius Toney in the draft. Yeah, I think that's something that all NFC opposition for you guys should be concerned about. Kadarius Toney was a guy that I wanted. If JC Horn or Patrick Surtain fell to the Philadelphia Eagles, I was gonna be cool. I was gonna be cool with a few wide receivers that we would be able to get at 37, and obviously, Terrace Marshall was one of those guys. Kadarius Toney is one of those guys that I wanted them to trade up for. So I have a lot of respect for Kadarius Toney, and I think that is definitely something that we're going to need to pay attention to. Toxic Falcon says, no, y'all Eagles fans can't say that because y'all had the opportunity to get Justin Jefferson. Yeah, and that just even pisses me off even more. It was DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, like Brandon Ayuk, like I mean, come on. And this is why it's important that Jalen Reagor pans out, because if he doesn't, I'm going to be severely pissed off. And I hope that Devontae Smith doesn't I hope that our coaching staff doesn't bring Devontae Smith down to their level. But again, there's so many question marks regarding the coaching staff too. We just have to see. We'll just have to see. But guys, same wide receivers coach for the first time in God knows how long. Yeah. I mean, that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. I definitely thought that he was gonna go a little bit later, or go a little bit earlier. Big Play Slay says Julio is 32. He's very injury prone, and he takes up a lot of the Falcons' salary. They should trade him. It makes sense. He'll get traded. I'm just sugarcoating it because I know Toxic Falcons is having a hard time accepting the reality of it. Yeah, I mean, again, Mike Nixon says, dude, I know, Big Play. I'm just so psyched about this season. Yeah, and again, it goes back to, man, like I think each team in the NFC East is going to be significantly better than they were last season. I mean, you look at the Washington football team, and they're scary, man. Outside of that quarterback position, they're scary. They added defensive players. You know what I mean? They added, offensive players opposite. Scary Terry over there. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really, really tough. Big Play says we could have gotten DK Metcalf. That's even worse than passing on Justin Jefferson. Hell, we passed on Devontae Adams for Jordan Matthews. Yeah, that was a Chip Kelly thing. He thought he was all being smart, but nah. Jordan Matthews wasn't bad. His rookie season, he wasn't bad, but he just wasn't Devontae Adams. I'm interested in knowing who is everybody's favorite player that they're going to be watching. Who's the one player that you guys are going to be looking for in any one of your team's camps? Mike Nixon, that goes for you. Toxic Falcons, that goes for you. Big Play Slay. I think you and I both agree that we're probably going to be watching Kenny Gainwell. Talking sports with MG Nas. I'll be sure to watch your channel more often. This is a great live show. Keep up the grind. Thank you, my man. That means a lot coming from you, especially a fellow podcaster like yourself. Thank you. I appreciate that. As you can tell, I'm just trying to Just trying to, take it one day at a time. Not force anything into existence, but take it one thing at a time. Big Play Slay says Travis Fulgham. Yeah, Travis Fulgham is definitely one of those guys too. Trayvon Grimes is another one for me. I think Travis Fulgham, Trayvon Grimes, Kenny Gainwell, on the defensive side, probably Jacoby Stevens. I'm really interested to see how healthy we can get Landon Dickerson, because I think he's going to be huge if we can get him healthy, keep him healthy. That's obviously going to be a benchmark bring to the Philadelphia Eagles. Talking Sports with MG Nas says favorite player Devontae Smith. Yeah, there's another one too. From the sounds of it, he's wowed a lot of people so far, and I hope he can teach these other wide receivers that we got a thing or two about a thing or two. Hey, bro, this is how you run a route successfully. You know what I mean? Like, hey, John Hightower, this is how you consistently catch a ball. Quez, you're doing good, man, but just do this, and then you can take off. Jalen, bro, stop, like, finishing your routes too early. Jalen Reagor, like, stop finishing your routes too early. Keep going. Make the right. If you add a little bit more crisp to your cut, you probably could have had more yards. Just like Jason Avant said. Devontae's that. See, for me, it was like, I remember a video when we drafted Jeremy Maclin. It was Deshaun Jackson's second year, and Deshaun Jackson was showing Jeremy Maclin, like, yo, this is the best for you. This is the best move at this point in time on this route. Like, da 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 da. And so, like, but I just think it's funny that Devontae Smith, like 21 years old, 21, 22 years old, like, coming in and be like, yo, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, no. Like, oh, man. I think Julio can go on the Titans because they don't necessarily have a wide receiver 2. Brown can shift to the wide receiver 2, and it will lower the load of Derrick Henry. Yeah, we know Derrick Henry was trying to recruit Julio to the Titans, and I think that would be a phenomenal move. I think that would be a good move for them. I'm still under the impression that the Titans should try and see if they can get a more dynamic quarterback, more of an improviser type. But I know that what's his face is doing really good. Ryan Tannehill, I know that he's doing really good. So, Mike Nixon says, I'm really excited to see Adoree Jackson and Aaron Robinson. Yeah, I bet you are. I wanted Adoree Jackson so bad, but he didn't make it. He didn't make it out of the Giants facility. He had the meetup, like, he had the appointment with the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's like, like, that's the thing too, is like, I was just saying this, and I think I had a live stream at the time about it, is like, bro, Howie Roseman, like, the Giants aren't going to let that dude leave the building. Like, come on. Yeah, that's going to be good for you guys. That's going to be good. Adoree Jackson, I like Adoree Jackson. I'm still hoping that the Philadelphia Eagles can go and get Steven Nelson or Brian Poole. The thing is that if they don't sign either one of those guys, then you got to find a trade option. Option. Because, Zeke McPherson, I'm sorry, he's not the answer. Richie Grant from UCF, I'm watching for camp. Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about Richie Grant. I see, that's the thing, is I love an underdog. I absolutely love an underdog story. And so I always love it when I hear about, I always love it when I hear rookies kind of overtake rookies that aren't expected to start, like top 10, Like I always love it. I always love it when rookies who are not expected to start, find their niche and start from week one. Big Play Slay says these damn receivers need to do the little things. Thankfully, we drafted Devontae Smith to teach them. Yeah, no, exactly, exactly. And I also, this is why I love listening to Jason Avant and Quentin Mickle on Inside the Birds. You know what I mean? Because like Jason Avant still talks to our wide receivers, and I think I saw an episode with him and Quentin Mickle, and he was saying, yeah, I talked to Jalen Reagor and told him, like, all you got to do is these little things, man, and you could have had 100 yards. You could have had 100 yards if you did this different, if you did that different, if you did this different. So Jason Avant pretty much said that he has been working with Jalen Reagor on some stuff. So hopefully that's a positive sign. Big Play Slay says Julio to the Colts. Julio to the Colts? Yeah, I could see them doing that for Carson. I could see them doing that for Carson. I honestly do believe that they gotta find another weapon for Carson Wentz. I honestly believe that. I think that is another piece to that puzzle. Another piece of that puzzle. Big Play Slay says, I was so angry when I saw Kenny G signed with the Giants because the last couple years I've been arguing how underrated of a wide receiver he is, and it pained me to see him to go to the Giants. Yeah. I mean, I was upset about it too. I think that he would have been a perfect upgrade over Travis Fulgham. And when I say upgrade over Travis Fulgham, it's not like I don't like Travis Fulgham. I do. I like Travis Fulgham. I just think we need a veteran wide receiver in the wide receiver room, and a guy that Travis Fulgham can learn from, develop behind. But yeah, Kenny G. Yeah, Kenny G's great. Kenny G's great. I like Kenny G. And I'm not talking about the musician. Mike Nixon, damn, Big Play, you just speaking it into existence, aren't you? Yeah. Well, anyway, this is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. I might be on again later with you guys tonight, but definitely tomorrow. I appreciate all of you who just recently subscribed. Thank you, Mike Nixon. Let me go back and read the full name. Talking Sports with MG Nas. Thank you, my man, for subscribing. I appreciate that, you guys. All the love and support. Big Play Slay, Toxic Falcons, Enter Zone if you still semi-listening. Thank you guys all. It was a great conversation today. You guys have a beautiful rest of your Monday. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Big Play Slay. Thank you, brother, for your support. One love. Go Birds, baby.